Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches, episode 165. Tonight we're reviewing Battle of the Sexes.
The Battle of the Sexes.
You made that exciting.
Yeah. Oh, unlike this movie. First things first, shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink.
Yes.
Trywink.com/moviebitches. You get $20 off your first month of wine. You could bring some into this movie.
It might help.
The problem that I had with this movie was that it was 35 minutes too long. Every shot, every scene was either unnecessary or twice as long as it needed to be.
My problem with this movie is it didn't have enough content to be a feature film.
Well, basically.
Like, it was, let's make a 2-hour movie to build up to this one event that everyone already knows about.
No, I didn't.
You didn't know she won?
I mean, I assumed she won.
I didn't hate this movie. I found this movie to be completely blah.
Yes.
It's totally a movie you could, like, watch with your mom on a Sunday. Like, oh, grandma wants to go to the matinee. I don't mean this in, like, a really rude way. It's just, it was very blah.
It was very blah. Although, what I will say is, this movie was a little sneaky.
Oh, yeah.
In that, like, everything about it you think is just about feminism and, like, equal rights for women. And then it's like, JK, half this movie is about lesbianism.
Well, sure. I mean, it's like...
So, it's like, oh, we took Grandma and Grandpa to go see Battle of the Sexes.
I see what you're saying.
Little did they know that it was going to be a 35-minute lecture on why you should let them just love who they want to love.
I came to see a tennis match, not this bullshit. Yeah, I can definitely see people...
But I'm down for this little tricksy spider web.
Oh, yes,
They lured them in. They lured in the women.
Remember the tennis. Leave with the morals.
I thought it was going to be like a fun kind of back and forth, weird, like whatever movie of Emma Stone and Steve Carell.
Yeah.
And Steve Carell is in a third of this movie.
Yeah.
And Emma Stone is in 2/3, one of which is her back and forth with Steve Carell, and the other third is just like her romance with this lesbian lover.
Right.
Can we talk about her gay husband?
Okay, so like, can we talk about it? Okay, so like, the whole time is this real blonde, Aryan-looking guy.
Real cute,
who I was like, oh, that's like her gay friend. Okay, great. An hour into the movie, it's like, oh, that's her husband? I was like, wait, I totally thought he was a mo. What? Like, we both.
And then I was waiting
for it.
Wait,
what?
At the end of the movie, they have the stupid title cards and whatever, and it's like, oh, she ended up marrying Ilana, and he remarried and had kids. And I was like, wait, what?
I was really, like, wanting it to be like, and they were both each other's beards.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I thought was going on.
He found, the love of his life, George. I was very confused.
I was shocked.
Odd casting choice. But I wasn't mad at it because he was cute. Who was he? Do we know?
No idea. Cool. Didn't look it up. Didn't care enough.
No.
Sorry about it. The best thing that this movie has going for it is the
Alan Cumming.
Well, I mean, I was going to say the cast.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that kept me entertained was I would be like, oh, this is boring. What the?
Sarah
Silverman's here? Yeah, Sarah Silverman. Oh, you're hilarious. I love it. More of this. Oh, you're gone. You're not in the movie anymore. What the fuck? Yeah. And then I'd be like,
oh,
Alan Cumming is here? Yes.
Oh, you're gone again.
Oh, you made
Alan Cumming was the mystical fairy of this movie.
He was the magical black person.
He was the magical gay.
He was the magical gay.
It was just like, oh, you need some sage advice? Here I am.
Times change. You should know you just changed them.
Hi. Also, I'm gonna stitch that hem.
Oh my God,
I mean, it was just
so silly.
It was like a weird movie. I don't know what this was.
Yeah.
This wasn't really a movie.
Not really.
It was kind of like this meandering tale about sort of about things.
There were certainly entertaining parts. There were some fun moments. It looked pretty good. Whatever. The acting, all of the acting was good.
Yeah, the cast was great.
Yeah.
Emma Stone, I'll give it to her. It was a great transformation.
It was. Well, it was a very good transformation. There were a few times where I was like, well, that's just Emma Stone in drag. But like,
well, that's just Paul Dano. There was a couple times when her stunt double was very obvious. I was like, well, that's just Paul Dano in a wig.
Was the tennis bad, or have I just been spoiled by, like, modern age tennis, where Serena Williams is like, ha! And you're like, holy shit, that was a 100-mile-an-hour serve. Yeah, exactly, right?
Both.
Okay.
I think it was bad because Emma Stone and Steve Carell aren't tennis players.
But they weren't actually playing.
Well, they were.
Were they?
At times.
Okay.
At times. And then also, yes, tennis has very much progressed since.
It was just like, I was confused by the pacing.
On paper, what's the plot of this movie?
Billie Jean King doesn't get equal pay, so she starts a new league, and then in doing so, she's raised enough like visibility that Bobby Riggs is like dealing with his gambling addiction, and he's like, hey, I bet you I could make a lot of money if I did like a stunt show where I challenged...
Now, if somebody walked into a room and pitched me that movie, I'd be like, nah, I'm good.
Sure.
Like, it started good when she was like, fuck you, I'm gonna start my own league and you guys can go suck a dick.
A league of our own.
We're gonna have a league of our own, motherfucker, and I don't care about the money.
Fuck you, Bill Pullman.
Fuck you, Bill Pullman. I love you, Bill Pullman. That was all. I was into it. The first half hour, I was like, great, I love this. This is cool.
Me too.
Sarah Silverman and her just being like bad bitches.
Yes.
And I was like, yes.
They're scrappy. They're the underdogs. Oh shit, she got a cigarette
oh my god,
sponsorship.
Virginia
Oh my god.
Slims is our cigarette.
Yeah, this is really working. I like it.
And then it was just like,
yep.
So basically, Billie Jean King and her hairdresser lesbian lover have spent the night together, and then she's gonna go on tour, and they're gonna part ways. And then all the other girls on the team are like, oh my god, is she coming with us? Can we have a makeover?
I mean,
oh my god, will you cut my hair?
My bangs
my bangs are a mess. You have to let her come. Sarah Silverman's like, no, you can't. Well, please, come on. Oh my god, we need haircuts. We need haircuts. No. Oh, but I really, really want a haircut because this scene went on and on. And I was like, what's this? Maybe it was spread too thin. Like, because then there was also the whole Margaret Court plot. She was the other rival female tennis player.
But then she's like real like Jesus-y, like, oh, she's a sinner because she has that lesbian lover.
Weird scene.
Right.
Like, why did it have to be that? Why couldn't it just be like, oh, this is going to throw her game off?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? It was weird.
Excellent. But no, it was just... What was the point of her? Other than, I guess they felt like they had to show the first match between her and Bobby Riggs.
I would have liked more time and like a montage of them on the road doing these matches. The rivalry between the two girls is heating up. Oh, she's moving up in the ranks. Oh my god, it's first and second. Oh my god, she beat Billie Jean King. Give me some excitement.
Yeah, there was no excitement.
Yeah.
In the tennis matches. I knew she won at the end, so I had no tension whatsoever.
Yeah.
But in the other matches, I didn't know. But they never really showed them.
Not really.
There was no, go watch Wimbledon. Wimbledon is this really cute romantic comedy with Paul Bettany and Kirsten Dunst. And they're like tennis players, and they're like fucking, and they're like, oh my god, it's gonna screw up our game, but we love each other. Let's play tennis. Now that I think about it, there was absolutely no, it's the bottom of the ninth. I know that's not tennis, but there was no, love, 40 love, right. Oh no, it's building.
Well, they tried to do that where it was 40 love for the court arms. What was her name?
The arm.
Margaret
Court.
Margaret Court. The arm. But oh my gosh, she won. It was and that happened.
It was because they were trying so hard to recreate it.
Maybe.
A lot of it was on people watching it on TV, which I get because it's it was a big deal, but you weren't part of the action.
Well, that was what was really boring. It was oh, do you know what's worse than watching tennis? Not that
1970s tennis.
Right, on top of it all.
Preface.
Not that, I can watch tennis, sure.
Sexy guys.
Yeah. Andy Murray, yeah. Hey. But what's more boring is watching people watch tennis.
Oh, yeah.
And it was and here's people in the crowd watching it. And here's people watching the TV, watching it.
It always makes me think of that Strangers on the Train shot when everyone's going like this, but Robert Walker is just staring with death eyes at Farley Granger. Just I'm gonna kill you. You know what I'm talking about? I've seen Strangers on a Train. You haven't seen Strangers on a Train? Holy shit! It's okay. It's okay.
You're gonna get so mad at me.
We can watch it. It's okay. I'm the crazy one, you guys. Don't be mad at Andrew. I'm the one that's crazy. But definitely go watch Strangers on a Train. Well, I also realized the reason I think I didn't care so much about the romance between Billie Jean King and the hairdresser.
Yeah.
Was that she was weird.
Yeah, she was weird.
Like, from the get, she's real aggressive.
And weird.
She's like, you're perfect. And they just met. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. They just met. She's like, it must be intoxicating. What, playing tennis? No, being inside your skin. Like, he was like, oh, run away screaming. Like I was like, oh no. Like, she was freaking weird.
She was really weird.
I was like, no, stay away from me. You're gonna lock me in a basement. Like, it was like creeping me out. She was weird. You're perfect. You just met.
Being
Slow down,
inside
crazy.
your skin.
Slow down. Like, it was like too much. And so I was like, the whole time, like, I don't like her.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, there's just nothing really happened. It wasn't this sort of like awakening of her sexuality.
No,
it didn't take the time to do that. It was spread too thin. It was this story, it was that story, it was Steve Carell's story, kind of. It was, who gave a shit about his marriage? I mean, Elizabeth Shue looks fabulous, but, like, I didn't care.
Right. Part of the problem, I mean, I actually don't know, but I'm assuming that the person who wrote it, and obviously it's like a couple who directed it.
Was the same couple who directed Little Miss Sunshine.
Right. So I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that they are both heterosexual.
I mean, they're a couple with
right.
each other, so
I would assume.
Unless it's a Billie Jean King and her gay husband situation.
Maybe. I don't know who the writer is.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that is also a heterosexual person.
This movie needed to be like a Billie Jean King biopic.
If that's what it were, right?
Right?
Then there'd be more information. Like, there'd be more to fill the gaps, and you can make a 2-hour movie.
The only time I kind of was interested in her, sorry, she was telling a story about when she was a kid, and they didn't have enough money to buy a tennis skirt, so her mom made her this thing, and they said, you can't take that picture
because she's wearing shorts.
You're not in a tennis skirt, little girl. And she said, that was the moment when I said, well, then I'm going to be the fucking best, and fuck all of y'all. I mean, she didn't say it quite like that, because she's a lady. But, I was like, fuck yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah.
Like, it really should have been a biopic about her that then also included, like, the Bobby Riggs chapter.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Exactly.
Because this was, like...
Maybe it culminates in that, right? You know, and then it's like, oh, she finally got the vindication.
Then I would have been, like, with her, like,
exactly.
oh, it was building towards this.
Yes. And now the next step is that you're going to be like, I'm a fucking lesbian, and I'm going to marry my lesbian lover, you fuckers. You know, like, yeah, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
But you don't have to see that necessarily. Like, you see her,
right.
You see her make the personal journey. She's owned herself at
in the last 2 minutes of the movie, it becomes, like, a thought piece about LGBT rights.
But that's what I'm saying. All of it was so heavy-handed.
What?
And so, like...
Alan Cumming literally shows up like, don't worry, times will change. We'll be able to be who we are. And then
love who we want to love.
The post-credits come up and it's like, times did change for Billie Jean. And it was like, oh, come on.
Right? It was so much.
It's a lot. Did we talk enough about how fabulous Alan Cumming is?
No. He's great.
I adore him.
Did I tell you? I feel like you weren't here when we went to go see him
No,
sing.
but I've seen him at the Geffen. I saw his one-man show. It was everything.
So afterward, we all stalked him to try and find out, because have you heard of Club Cumming?
No.
Okay. So when he was doing...
But it makes me laugh.
Right. When he was doing Cabaret...
You mean for the past 27 years?
Well, right. But no, the most recent Cabaret whatever.
With Emma Stone.
Was it?
Yeah.
He had this fabulous huge dressing room.
Sure.
Done. And he would turn it after the show into
a
nightclub called Club Cumming.
I love it.
And so when he goes on the road to do this, he'll like pick a bar and turn it over. They have like a neon sign that they hang up and it's like Club Cumming.
I love it!
So we were like, okay, we have to find out where's Club Cumming. We have to go. And nothing, couldn't find anything, didn't see anything about it. And we're like so bummed. And then maybe it was the next morning, it was like, oh, there was a picture at like some bar in WeHo. And I was like, God damn it. I like would have gone in my pajamas. I don't care. I just wanted to have gone.
I just want to go.
But anyway, he's fabulous.
Well, I love that, like, they can't find anyone that could even remotely do better in Cabaret than him. Like, they keep reviving it, and they're like, we should just call Alan. I mean, he's still the best, right? There's no one else.
Screw Maximilian. I do. So do I. So good. That's definitely on, like, my top favorite films. Sure. And retro review.
Is Sarah Silverman on Fabulous Cunt Island?
Yes.
I feel like she definitely is, right? She's there.
She at least has a timeshare.
The comedian's corner.
Yeah, she visits
the comedian's corner.
Whoopi.
Yes, she's already on there.
Oh, good. Is Ellen?
No.
Right?
Sorry about it. Like, not everyone can be a fabulous cunt. That doesn't mean you're
Kathy
lame.
Griffin.
100%. Yes. Of course Kathy Griffin is on Fabulous Cunt Island.
Okay. And Joan Rivers is
I was just
going
going to say, and Joan Rivers. Can we talk about the other part of this movie that was absolutely unnecessary? Fred Armisen.
That was so weird.
Did he say anything?
I don't think so.
Like, he maybe said, like, 3 words.
I'm not sure if he did.
Like, when the first scene by the pool,
maybe.
he might have been like, these are supplements. He's basically being Fred Armisen. I mean, it was weird. It was like, is this an SNL sketch? Like, it was bizarre.
It was so weird. And at a certain point, I thought that maybe Fred Armisen was poisoning him.
Well, because, okay, so he's giving him all these supplements and vitamins, and he's just, like, always sitting next to him.
But like this.
But he's doing his Fred Armisen thing,
like,
just like, being a fucking weirdo. And they kept making this big deal about him taking these vitamins. So I thought...
Speaking of vitamins, sorry.
So then I thought he was gonna, like, collapse or...
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Or say that the vitamins affected his game or
that someone is gonna be like, oh, he's doping or whatever, but no.
Why was that in there? Like, it literally didn't.
I think only because it actually happened.
But, like, who cared?
Right?
Apparently,
who gave a
apparently
fuck?
It didn't matter.
Right. I think it was supposed to be, oh, isn't he such a character? He's eating 400 pills of vitamins and nonsense a day.
But it wasn't even that. It was like judging him for it.
It was like,
bit. Oh, he's taking more of those vitamins. I don't know about this. And that's why it really seemed like Fred Armisen was like, and I'm slowly poisoning him.
Right? It was weird. It was like, there's a little bit of arsenic in each one. Like, it was so bizarre.
I'm building up your tolerance to iocane powder.
Well, so, I mean, the whole time, Bill Pullman, ugh.
Well, he was acting like a horrible chauvinist.
Of course. Steve Carell.
I love Bill Pullman.
Oh, totally. I felt sad.
I was like, oh no, Bill Pullman.
This movie was a little cathartic for me.
Yeah.
Just in the sense that I was, like, really nice seeing a bunch of, like, old, bigoted, rich white men get really, really sad about losing and just be like, ha 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 ha, your time is ending.
Your cauldron.
You know what I mean? I was just like, that's right.
Well, but what was weird was they kind of tried to give the character of Bobby Riggs an out by being like, oh, he's just putting on this chauvinist act.
Right.
Oh, he's just pretending to be this pig to get publicity. It undercut the whole point. Like,
that's true.
Even if it's a tall tale and sort of like a media frenzy of man versus woman, this fucking chauvinist asshole versus this feminist. And fuck you, Bobby Riggs, she beat you, right? That's what they were selling. But then that's what the movie had to sell you too.
A little bit.
Because it kept apologizing for him and being like, oh, but he's just like pretending. And like, oh, but Elizabeth Shue's like, she's cool with it because she knows that it's all an act. And I'm like, what?
Even at that time, I knew Bobby was kidding. I knew that it was an act. It was for show. You know, he was a great showman.
I mean, at least they didn't have the scene of him being like, I did this on purpose to inadvertently help the cause or some gross,
no, that would
like, oh, I lost.
But I guess I would have liked a little bit more if they really wanted to take that angle rather than constantly have other people tell us how he's like putting on a show and he doesn't really mean it.
Have a scene where the veil drops and him and Billie Jean King just have a conversation.
Yeah.
It did definitely want to make me reread one of my favorite books called Courting Danger.
Ooh. By
Alice Marble, who was a famous female tennis player in like the 30s and 40s. And basically she was fucking badass and was like, she wrote from the first person, so when you're in her head playing the tennis match, you feel like you're like, oh my god. And then at a certain point she had a photographic memory. She became like a spy for the US government in World War II. It's a really good book.
That's crazy. Why is it not a movie?
It should totally be a biopic.
We should make it a movie.
It's probably optioned.
Probably.
But it's so good, you should definitely go read it because it's like, that's what I wanted this to be.
Sure.
I wanted to believe in Billie Jean King. You know, like I wanted to be like, oh, yes! And I did, somewhat.
I believe in you!
I believe in you! Billie! Tennis match, Billie! You know, but I didn't quite get like wrapped up in emotions.
No, not
for this,
really.
Because it felt like a scattered, it was like toast with not enough jam. You know what I mean? It was
Totally.
Like
Well, it was also
thin.
oh god, yeah, that's the worst.
When you don't have like,
When it's just like a little bit of jam, it's like I'd rather just have butter or something.
yeah, like come on.
Was very good jam.
People will forget about it.
Absolutely.
It'll be whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. You could see it.
You could or could not. It did make me want to like watch some women's tennis. You know?
Sure.
It's like, yeah, Wimbledon.
Go watch Wimbledon.
Yeah.
The movie. It's really cute.
Maybe Match Point. I remember liking Match Point when I saw
it.
it.
It has nothing to do with tennis.
Doesn't it?
No.
Oh, really? It's just called Match Point?
Because of like, yeah.
So I clearly don't remember it well.
Remember Matthew Good? And then like, I mean, what everyone remembers is like Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers like fuck in the rain and that wheat field. It's like, what?
I remember liking it, but I also don't remember it, so.
I remember liking it. It was like a ghost. I remember being like, yeah, what?
That sounds about right.
Yeah! Like, I was like, there's that moment where I was like, what? Why is there a ghost here now? Yes, I love this. Matthew Good. Like, I don't know. Anyway. I could take or leave this movie. That's how I felt about it.
I could totally take it or leave it.
But I found it pretty darn boring.
Yeah, I found it way too slow.
It was fun.
Yeah.